What's up, everyone? Welcome back. Today let's talk about braided line. Braid is huge. There's a really good braid if you haven't tried it. It's called Seagar PEX8. I've been really blown away with this braid and I'll tell you all about it right now. Thanks everyone for watching. As you know, these videos are all about bass fishing tackle. I do a lot of reviews. I fish all different kinds of brands of tackle and gear, and I'm always trying the latest and greatest and really just trying to try new stuff. And I thought I'd share with you this Seagar PEX8 braid. So it's a braided line. It's from Japan. Last year at the Bassmaster Classic, Seagar brought 3 JDM products to the United States. They brought the Grand Max, which is a fluorocarbon, the R18, which is a limited, it's a fluorocarbon, it's mainline similar to Tatsu, and then the PEX8 JDM braid. Now this is a very thin braid, and all these products were available in the Japanese market, and Seagar brought them in just to kind of test the waters to see how the American consumer liked them. And PEX8 and really all of them are here to stay. They're a really good line. And the thing about PEX8, I'll show you what it looks like, comes in a box like this, is this stuff is crazy, crazy thin. Now it uses a different material called Izanas, which is by diameter is stronger than piano wire. It's like multiple times stronger than stainless steel. It's crazy, again, by diameter. So it's a super, super thin, super strong material. This is not the only company that's doing it, that's using this Izanas. I've seen at ICAST, a couple of their brands are doing it, but this is kind of like the latest Dyneema type material that everyone's using in braided line that allows you to use a thinner line that's very strong. And that's the crazy thing. I'll do some comparisons showing this diameter compared to a lot of them. Basically anything you've ever thought of with braided line, you have to throw out the window as far as the pound test. Like you see here, I got 24 pound. I'm using that on spinning. I use 21 and 18, where before I was always using 10 or 15. You can use such heavier line. I even have a 33 pound that I use, which is crazy for spinning tackle, but it's so thin you can get away with it. That's the thing with this line. It's super, super, super thin, but still strong, still manageable, cast great, all those sort of things. But just to kind of give you an idea, I got a few different lines here. So before this, I was a huge Smackdown fan. I still am. It's a really good line. So this is 15 pound test. And this is something you should do with all braid and all fluorocarbon is look at that diameter. The diameters vary wildly from brand to brand. You know, people talk about 12 pound test this, 12 pound test that. That doesn't mean anything. Look at the diameter. So like, just to give you an idea, 15 pound Smackdown, the diameter is 0.009. This is 24 pound and the diameter is 0.008. So yes, you heard that right. The 24 is thinner than 15. I also use Tactex braid quite a bit. This is a different line from Seagar, and this is the same thing, 0.009 for 15 pound test. Give you a couple other brands, because again, it varies crazy. So this is a new line from Berkley. This is called the Forward. You know, they're really promoting this for forward facing sonar. It says optimized for spinning reels, you know, great casting distance, you know, all that kind of stuff. So the diameter of this is 10 pound, the flame green, is 0.007. Then right here I got 21 pound PEX8 and the diameter is 0.007. So you got 10 pound and 21. That is the same diameter, which is crazy. But that's how thin this stuff is. That's how thin this Izanas material is. So number one, it's just a lot thinner, a lot stronger, but it's a very good casting braid because it is thinner. So you don't have to go this heavy. I mean, like I said, they have a 16 and an 18. You can use that. I think the 12 is a little too thin for anything personally. I've tried it. It's almost too thin to tie knots with, but 16 and 18 are just fine on spinning tackle. There's a lot of professional anglers, both on the Bass Pro Tour and the Elite Series, they're using 16 and 18. I got 21, I just feel a little more comfortable with that just because of how thin it is, and then the 24 as well. The other thing you'll notice is it's a crazy pink color, and then every meter, there's a little bit of green. And I'll talk about some other things I've noticed with this as well. So every meter, you got a little strand of green. It's about that long, that lime green, then it's pink. So that's really good for line watching. You know, that's really, but you can just see how thin that is. Again, this is 21 pound test. It's kind of hard to see in that, you know, right there, but this stuff is crazy thin. Like I said, 12 is just too thin. 16, you're kind of pushing it. 18 is a good number, but I like that 21 and 24. So this is one I've had on the reel for quite a while, and you can still got pretty good color on it. Actually, one thing I like to do is like to flip it backwards. I mean, it's really simple, but you can just, all that line at the bottom of the spool just never sees the light of day. So I just flip it backwards. I think I actually did flip this one back from another reel, so I'll take that back. It hasn't been on there that long. This one's been on there a little bit longer. You can still see that pink, it hasn't really faded. And then I'll show you this one, because I actually had some of this line that was before it was pink when it first came out. Actually, before it came out, I got some from Japan. And this was kind of a Technicolor blue and yellow and all these crazy colors. And you could see it still held up its line. And this is on one of my minnow rods that I use all the time. This has been on there for a year and a half. So it's really, really holding this color well. But again, it's a really thin line. It cuts through the water really well. So for techniques like this with your forward facing, you're gonna get less line drag in the water because it's so thin. It's really strong, ties knots well, as long as you, again, get something that's a little bit thicker diameter, like that 18 to 21. Again, that 12 is just too thin in my opinion. But anything above that holds knots really well, casts really well, really soft line. It's got that strength. I mean, everything you like about it. The one downside, it's not cheap. It's about 35 bucks a spool for some weird number. I think it's 200 meters, so it's like 219 yards or something like that. That's enough for 2 reels if you put backing on there, but you have to be really careful of that, again, because it's so thin. You need a good amount of backing on there. Otherwise, you're gonna only fill up 1 reel and only have a little bit left line on it. So putting a lot of backing on there, you'll be able to get 2 reels, which is really cool. That's what I do. It's a really good way to kind of make that line go last you a little longer. And then again, like I said, flip it back the other way so you can get that fresh line on a new reel down the line. That's what I do. But really, really like the line as far as how it casts, how it holds its color, how it ties knots, the strength, everything else is great. So if you're looking for a premium braid, I really like that. The PEX8, it's almost hard for me to go back to this now, honestly. I have a couple of reels with this on it and it just feels like rope on it, honestly, because it's so much thicker. So I've really switched over almost everything to this PEX8. So if you're looking for a premium braid, really, really like it. It's perfect for spinning gear. I think it's too thin for casting. Even that 33 pound is still really, really thin. So unless you're doing something, you know, BFS or something like that, I think even the 33 is too light for casting. It's strictly a spinning braid, really good, really like it. And if you have any questions, let me know. I'd be happy to answer them for you. But I've been really impressed with it. It's held up great. Can't say enough about how thin it is. It's really cool that they're using this new material, that Izana stuff. I think you're gonna see more and more from that from different brands. So let me know down below, have you tried it? Always like to hear that feedback, and thanks for watching.